Ah, there you are. Come and sit with me. Let me share something important. 5 mistakes that'll ruin your golden years. This is something I've learned the hard way. Life is like the seasons, the bloom of spring, the fire of summer, the harvest of autumn, and the quiet wisdom of winter. These golden years should be our richest, full of peace, joy, and fulfillment, but too often we make mistakes that steal that joy away from us. Today I want to talk about 5 of those mistakes I've seen and some I've made myself. Trust me, what I'm about to share can change your life. Listen closely, because these years are too precious to waste. There was a time when I carried regret like a heavy bag of stones. Every wrong choice, every missed opportunity haunted me. I would lie awake at night, replaying moments I couldn't change. It's funny, isn't it? The more you think about the past, the heavier it feels, like dragging a chain you can't see but can't escape either. I remember coming to this bench every morning after I lost my wife. I'd sit here staring at the trees, consumed by all the things I should have done differently. The times I was too busy to notice her smile. The times I let small arguments fester instead of saying I'm sorry. Regret has a way of making you forget all the good, and it magnifies the bad. But then one morning, a little girl ran by. She stopped and sat beside me, her face lit up with the purest smile I'd seen in years. She started feeding the birds, giggling as they flocked around her. That moment, it was like a breath of fresh air after years in a dark room. It reminded me that life isn't just about what's behind you. It's about what's still in front of you. Regret has its place, but only if you let it teach you something. Learn from the past, then leave it where it belongs. Forgive yourself, forgive others. Every day you spend trapped in regret is a day you lose from the present. And the present is where your life happens. Do you see these trees around us? They stand tall because their roots are strong, nourished by the earth. Our bodies are no different. They're our foundation, the roots that keep us steady as the winds of life blow through. When I was younger, I thought I was invincible. I stayed up late, worked too much, and barely gave my body the care it deserved. I skipped meals, ate junk, and ignored little aches and pains. I thought, I'm fine. I'll worry about it later. But here's the thing about later. It always arrives, whether you're ready or not. I had a friend who was the strongest man I knew, both physically and mentally. But he ignored his health. He pushed through the fatigue, dismissed his doctor's advice, and didn't take time to rest. One day he didn't wake up. It was a harsh reminder that no one is untouchable. But here's the good news. It's never too late to start taking care of yourself. Start small. Go for a walk. Stretch every morning, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Choose water instead of soda. Cook at home instead of eating out. These little habits build over time like drops filling a bucket. And don't skip your checkups. I know it's tempting to avoid the doctor, but think of it like maintenance on your car. You wouldn't ignore a strange noise in the engine, so don't ignore the signs your body gives you. Your health is your greatest wealth. Invest in it, and it will pay you back in years of vitality. If you've been thinking it's too late for me, stop right there. It's never too late to plant new seeds of health. The sooner you start, the sooner you'll feel the difference. I used to think success was about what you owned. A bigger house, a newer car, a fatter paycheck. I spent years chasing those things, thinking they would make me happy. And don't get me wrong, they felt good at first. But over time I realized something. No matter how much you have, it's never enough. The hunger for more is insatiable. I had a neighbor, Joe, who lived in the smallest house on our street. Nothing fancy, just a little cottage with peeling paint and an overgrown garden. But you know what? His home was always filled with laughter. He'd invite neighbors over for coffee, sit on his porch with his grandkids, and share stories that made everyone laugh until their sides hurt. Joe didn't have much, but he had what mattered: love, connection, and contentment. I'll never forget the day I asked him, "Don't you wish you had more?" He chuckled and said, "More of what? I already have everything." That stuck with me. In your golden years, don't waste time chasing things that can't love you back. Invest in relationships, not possessions. Spend your energy on experiences, not material things. Because at the end of the day, it's not the size of your house or the brand of your car that you'll remember. It's the memories you created and the people you shared them with. And one more thing. Don't let society trick you into thinking you need to impress anyone. You've lived too long, worked too hard, to spend your final years keeping up appearances. Let your heart, not your wallet, guide your choices. Loneliness is a thief, but it's a quiet one. It doesn't kick down your door or make a scene. It slips in slowly, unnoticed, until one day you realize you've built walls so high that no one can get in, and you can't get out. After my children grew up and my wife passed, I thought I could do it alone. I told myself I didn't need anyone. Independence became my shield, but it also became my prison. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and before I knew it, I was living in silence. The turning point came when I bumped into an old friend at the grocery store. He smiled and said, "We miss you. Why don't you join us for coffee sometime?" That simple invitation broke the spell of isolation. I started saying yes to coffee, to book clubs, to community events. And you know what? It changed everything. Don't let loneliness steal your golden years. Reach out, call an old friend, join a local group, smile at a stranger. You'd be amazed how much brighter life feels when you let people back in. Human connection isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. We're not meant to live in isolation. So take that first step, no matter how small. It might be a call, a visit, or a simple hello. It's never too late to build new bridges. Do you hear that? The rustling leaves, the chirping birds? This is life, right here, right now. But too often we miss it. We're too busy worrying about tomorrow or clinging to yesterday. I remember a time when my granddaughter tugged on my sleeve, asking me to play. I was in a rush, so I said later. But later never came. She grew up, and those moments slipped through my fingers. Now, I make it a point to stop, to listen, to laugh, to simply be. I savor the little things, the warmth of the sun on my face, the sound of my children's laughter, the taste of a homemade meal. These moments, they're what make life beautiful. The present is a gift. Don't let it slip away while you're busy chasing something else. Learn to pause, to savor, to appreciate. Because one day, you'll look back and realize those little moments weren't little at all. We're getting more people like you subscribing and commenting on our videos every day. Why not join in? So there you have it, 5 mistakes that can rob you of your golden years. But it's never too late to change. Let go of regrets. Care for your body. Stop chasing what doesn't matter. Reconnect with people. And above all, cherish the present. These years are golden for a reason. They're precious. Don't waste them. Go, live today fully. You owe it to yourself.